the court deemed it insanity too. He had so much time to destroy so much, and he actually did, like, compared to the amount of time he had to destroy things, he did so little. He did a very minute thing. Even though it's big damage, he could have done a lot worse, and he did very minute. So people are trying to thinking like, he might be a bit slow in the mind if he wasn't able to take advantage of the time that he had. So he honestly did a terrible job with the with his goal, but it did actually cause some damage. And I just think it was a disgusting act that he did, but yeah, absolutely terrible. And luckily nobody was hurt. I think one person got very minor injuries. Cameron Hudson, he who actually dropped out of the race a while ago because he was not a good candidate. He was not made to be president of Stickman. Anyway, thankfully though, I do like him. We are friends, and thankfully nothing like terrible happened. He didn't do anything. It was just injury. Zero fatality. The businesses in Stickmon, or sorry, in China, because that was a main part of Chinatown that got destroyed, and unfortunately, a lot of those businesses shut down because the damage was too scarce or was too much. And you actually owned a handful of those businesses, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I owned about four of them at that
Mm.
time.
Yeah, so I'm really sorry to hear about. Oops, what did that? Sorry about that. I'm really sorry to hear about that. But luckily, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, like we said. That's why he's deemed like pretty much mentally ill because he did such a bad job. It could have been a lot worse. We're happy it wasn't. He actually managed to get a bit into the metropolitan as well. Was affected.
Do you
Not
feel
too much
like
actually. When the hang
sorry
on,
about that.
I was and when I heard it, I thought something has happened to the Stipmon Tower. And when I got back, luckily nothing had happened to the Stipmon Tower. It was actually a road had been blown up and a bit of the GG industry had been vandalized, but that got fixed and no problem. The Chinese was fixed. Buildings really are their skillers. So it's just a disgusting act, and it definitely does not. It does not ref people of Sigmund. We do not act like that. We are far beyond that. We're better than that. So, so it was Sigmund. It will be history as Sigmund's first terror attack.
Do you do you yourself feel like in the amount of time that Mr. Mass Assassin was given, do you feel like you could have done more damage to the town, or do you feel like
Absolutely. Listen, Freedom McCarthy, he did, and I can't even emphasize this enough, he did such a terrible job. He puts terrorists to shame. That is how bad he is. He is just. It was almost like I don't even know how to explain it. He was just so bad at like even like I should be thankful. We should all be thankful that the damage was as minimal as it was. But I think we can all safely say he did such a bad job. He is just bad at he is bad at everything. He is just individual and it's just so bad. Just a 5-year-old monkey could have done worse damage. I don't know any other ways. Like a rock probably could have done way worse than that. He was just so bad. So bad. He was so bad.
that is very interesting how you
Like
feel about that.
like any terrorist or would just look down on him and come on man. But that's why he's going home because he's just so bad. Like what wipe his own bottom.
Very interesting.
He's
Um,
so bad.
another few questions we have tonight
He just
is
sucks.
Oh, we got a message from the viewer. Would you like to hear it? I don't know if this is a total
I would
appropriate.
I would actually love to, yes.
Okay,
Oh,
this is. Oh, whoa, throwing water at your host there.
so sorry. I don't know. I just had a wee muscle spasm. I don't even
Oh,
know
yes.
what was happening there.
Okay, the question is from Mr. Love Machine 2498. He asked, "Why are you doing this?" Oh, never mind. Sorry about that. Wrong question. We're not going to answer that question. Didn't realize what it was till the end.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I'm just going to ask a question of my own. How do you feel about cars? How do you feel about cars? How do you feel about the license,
Oh
everything like
my
that?
goodness, Freedom McCarthy. The day we get a car is the day Stickmon just I I would die for a car at this point. Okay, the Stickmon Tower. Once we are taking on so much right now. So I'd like to apologize to everybody. The Stickmon Tower is actually taking on the car industry as we speak, and every day you wake up in the morning, just wake up knowing that you are one day closer accessible vehicles. Stickmon Tower released before. I am telling you this before anybody else. Live on this show tonight, I am going to tell you this right now. My lawyer knows about it, and it has been sworn to secrecy. We were going to do a special broadcast where we were going to unveil everything, but I'm just going to give you a sneak little preview of what you can expect. The Stickmon Tower, Blazeco actually, which is a science laboratory, mostly military run, but it's way off in District 11. We'll get into that. Stickmon Tower engineers have been working on different models for actual mobile vehicles, and we've actually come up with three designs. One of them is the best, obviously, which is the one we'll be using right away. But after that main model comes out, we have two new models that we may be displaying, and we've also been working on weaponry and other machinery for the military, but we won't get into that just yet. So yes, we are definitely working on getting vehicles out there for people to do quicker transportation, for the law enforcement, for everybody. And let me just say to you, what we're working on right now, we've actually, yeah, what we need to work on right now is a track. We're going to do a kilometer long track, and we're going to test the speed of each vehicle, and that's what we're going to base their pricings on. And then Gollywood, we've actually got a car dealership ready to retail in those products. The only thing we need left is a place for people to do their driving test and get their license, and then we will be out there. We have the vehicles. We've got the vehicles ready. They just need to be obviously safety tested and speed checked first. And then we've got the car dealership, which is ready to retail those. All we have to do now is the driver's ed course with the course that you can take, and then you can get your license. So a really exciting topic that you just brought up there. I am so thrilled for the day that comes out. We've actually been working on that.
Very
And it still is very exciting. I'm so thrilled to have those come out soon.
very interesting to know that. That's great to know. I'll definitely be buying a car when that comes out. Another question is, how do you feel about making like arcades or like fun little centers for people to go enjoy their time at? Would you ever feel like you would
Uh, you
do
know
something
what?
like that?
That is actually absolutely we've already started. We are ahead of you, Mr. We've already got a few things out, and we're also working on other things. So let me jump into this topic with you now. Well, if you know, in back in South Stickmon, just outside of Chinatown, there was a building called Parkour, and that building, excuse me, sorry about that. That building was it's a parkour building. Anybody could join. There was zero risk of injury, and it was like a family place for somebody to enjoy, and we had that all set up. It was actually a big hit. We got a bunch of people going there. Not a lot of news about it, but we definitely noticed a lot of people going in there and having some fun. um Unfortunately, though, that building did get demolished in the Chinatown attacks. But good news for you, the Metropolitan, and this is not a stick project, this is someone else's project, and I'm not sure if they're still working on it, but there is a hotel and casino going up in the Metropolitan. And then as far as you saying arcades and other entertainment. That is what Gollywood is for. And as you know, Gollywood is we're actually starting to build more in Gollywood. It's becoming more of a focus. It used to be only South Stickmon and the Metropolitan that were the main focuses. And now we're changing direction a bit more to Gollywood because as our population increases, we want to keep our people happy and we want to attract more tourists. So Gollywood is going to be a big thing. It will be the entertainment capital. As you know, we've already got a few television studios going up, but it's definitely going to be a big place in casinos, which in turn have arcade games, and it's going to do fantastic for the economy as well. But yes, we've already started thinking about that.
Very, very interesting. I will definitely be participating in
Oh,
going to some of those
absolutely,
things.
absolutely. I can tell you, I will too.
That
Oh, it's so
sounds like
exciting.
very
And
fun.
actually, no one knows about this actually, but we're looking for a location. We're going to be setting up a fair soon.
Really, a fair. Sorry about that. My controller lost connection for a second. A fair. That's very
Did
interesting.
you just walk up the stairs?
Yes.
Okay.
So the fair. Go ahead and explain that. What will you have? Like a little, you know, racetracks,
We
anything
won't
like
get
that?
too much into it because no, it'll just be like it's a fun fair. We'll
I
just
feel
have a
like we
few
should get
games.
into it.
We actually, well, we're looking for a spot now. This has not been confirmed
You can use
by
my
anyone at Stickman
studio.
Tower yet. We do want an amusement park that will be permanent, but right now we're just gonna set up a small fair in a
Okay, that
parking
sounds good. So
lot
next
somewhere.
question for today is, how do
Probably,
you
but yeah, it's
feel
just set up
about
a
the
small fair.
military?
Um, You know what? You keep putting big topics on me. The military is a very crucial, it's a very important part of the nation of Stickmon and surrounding states that we've got going on right now. Let me tell you a bit about this. So, the Stick, first of all, Stickmon has zero military. We do not have a functional military base. And already we have had one other country attempt to wage a war against us, and thank goodness we have got such good negotiators because like twice these people have tried to wage war against us, but we've got such good people on our hands, such good negotiators. There's nothing to worry about. We are safe for the time being. But yeah. So let me just tell you, the Sigmund Tower is actually contributing quite a bit to this. Uh, what we've been doing is we've been working out the Sigmund Tower construction company. We have been setting up the area to start building some defenses and getting some little bases and setups there. So we're trying to get very hard. We actually are encouraging that citizens work for the Stickmon Tower under city maintenance and construction because we are trying to go so hard on the military base because not only do we have a lot of citizens that are interested in the military forces, in that field of work, we need it. We need to feel safe and we need to feel secure. So it's very important that we get started on that.
Very, very, very interesting. Military. We should probably get started on that. Like you're saying, that would be definitely
Really quickly though, something that some people don't know that I'm just going to jump right into. The military is all stationed in one area. Instead of having things stationed all over, the Army, Navy, and Air Force will all be one base, which isn't the smartest idea. Normally, you should have it stationed throughout Stickmon, but as our states progress, we will station more forts and bases around. But as of now, our military is all confided to one area in District 11.
very interesting. That is very interesting sounding. Like my one question for you is, why not station them everywhere? You know, because in case of, say, an attack
We'd
does
love to do
happen,
that,
won't
but you
that?
see, the problem is that would be very smart, and the problem is we do not have this space. We're also focusing on the economy as well as protection. And it's hard enough right now. Stigmon does not have an airport, and it has been bugging us.